Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving headfirst into what I like to call the ultimate cosmic detective story. We are looking at the very origin of the universe, and honestly, it's an enduring mystery so profound that it's actually forcing top physicists to completely rethink how science itself works. It involves this wild idea called the fine-tuning of the cosmos, a really bizarre concept known as reverse causation, and a debate that stretches to the absolute limits of reality. I am so thrilled to walk you through this mind-bending cosmic mystery today.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the fine-tuning mystery, figure out what reverse causation actually is, look at a really helpful consequentialist analogy, and then explore why the old theories fail, leading us to the multiverse paradigm shift and potentially a brand new scientific method. We're going to solve this thing step by step.
Part 1. The fine-tuning mystery. The clues. Let's rewind about 15 years to a discovery that completely baffled the physics community. Scientists realized that our universe is built on a very specific set of rules. You see, physicists identified exactly 25 strange constants, fundamental numbers, built directly into the fabric of our universe. We're talking about things like the mass of an electron or the exact strength of fundamental forces like gravity. Now, as far as the standard laws of physics were concerned, these 25 constants could have theoretically taken on literally any value. They seemed, for all intents and purposes, entirely arbitrary. But here is the incredible twist. Physicists discover that these seemingly arbitrary numbers are actually perfectly fine-tuned. If these constants were even slightly different, nothing could exist. No stars, no planets, no atoms, and definitely no life. The values are precisely, and I mean exactly, what they need to be for a complex universe to emerge. The realization of this delicate, razor-thin balance set the stage for a massive scientific dilemma. Which brings us to Part 2. What is reverse causation? The problem. This discovery of fine-tuning implies something completely mind-bending about how cause and effect actually work in our reality. Now, what's really interesting about this is the stark contrast between the standard scientific paradigm and what fine-tuning suggests. Normally, we think of the laws of nature causing the resulting universe. The laws come first, and the universe is just the natural consequence of those laws. But fine-tuning implies this weird reverse causation. It looks as though the need for a complex universe, the end result, actually caused the specific laws of nature to be exactly what they are. The consequences are explaining the laws. It's completely backwards. So let's jump to Part 3, a consequentialist analogy, the Mystery City. To make this abstract physics concept of reverse causation immediately digestible, let's look at a brilliant thought experiment involving two different approaches to societal laws. Imagine comparing two entirely different ethical frameworks. First up, we have rule-based ethics. This is where absolute rules form the foundation, and society naturally emerges from those rules. This is pretty analogous to standard physics. Then we have consequence-based ethics. Here, the desired end goal completely dictates the rules. Basically, the ends justify the means. And this perfectly mirrors the idea of fine-tuned physics, where the universe's end goal seems to dictate its foundational rules. To picture this, imagine we stumble upon an ancient mystery city. And this city has 25 crazy, seemingly unethical laws. For instance, a law that actually permits the killing of the old and sick. Now, if we try to understand this city using a standard rule-based approach, it makes absolutely zero sense. We'd be completely stumped as to why these horrific rules exist in the first place. But then, boom, we make a new discovery about this city. We find out its overarching goal is to achieve maximum wealth. Suddenly, those 25 crazy laws make sense from a purely clinical standpoint. They are perfectly fine-tuned to preserve resources for the young, wealth-generating citizens. The desired consequence caused the laws. It's just like our universe. A rule-based approach fails, but when we view it through a consequence-based lens, the bizarre rules, or in our physics case, those 25 constants, are perfectly explained by the end result. Moving on to Part 4, why old theories fail, the dead ends. Armed with this analogy, let's shift back to physics and examine the old scientific suspects. Before fully accepting this bizarre reverse causation, physicists naturally tried to explain those 25 constants using traditional methods. The first attempt was the master law theory. The hope here was to find a grand theory of everything that mathematically dictates the exact values of those constants. The idea was that some deep mathematical equation simply forces the numbers to be exactly what they are, without any regard for the consequences. And this brilliantly illustrates why that theory is a dead end. Nobel-winning physicist Frank Wilczek notes that, sure, while it's logically possible for theoretical principles to uniquely determine these parameters, for them to also just happen to perfectly fine-tune the universe for complexity, well, that's a lucky coincidence that, in his words, really strains credulity. Relying on a massive, illogical coincidence is simply bad science.
So then we have the second failed suspect, the uncaused constants theory. This theory simply argues that the 25 numbers are just fundamental facts of reality with no deeper explanation. They just are. But as scientists point out, this is terrible methodology. It completely ignores the brand new clue of fine-tuning. It's exactly like finding out that Mystery City's goal is maximum wealth, but choosing to ignore that fact and saying, well, the laws are just the way they are. You can't just ignore vital new clues, right?
Because the old theories failed and the fine-tuning clue absolutely could not be ignored, we arrive at Part 5. The multiverse paradigm shift, the new suspect. Mainstream scientists needed a radical new theory to solve this mystery. Let's move through this and see how it builds logically. Step 1. We know random chance completely fails as an explanation in a single universe. The odds are astronomically low. Step 2. So, physicists propose infinite parallel universes, a multiverse, where every single possible combination of constants exists out there somewhere. Step 3. If every combination exists, then a universe perfectly fine-tuned for life must exist. We observe the universe with the right combination simply because we couldn't possibly exist in any of the others.
This multiverse concept relies heavily on what is called the Anthropic Principle. This is the idea that any universe capable of sustaining intelligent observers must necessarily be the one we are in, and this creates a massive observational bias. It essentially answers the reverse causation problem not by saying the universe literally caused the laws, but by saying our existence as intelligent observers biases what we are capable of observing in the first place. We can only see the universe that is already fine-tuned for us.
Which leads us to Part 6. A new scientific method. The fallout. Accepting the multiverse isn't just a neat physics trick. It comes with immense philosophical fallout that challenges the very foundation of science.
So the crucial point is this. The classical scientific method absolutely demands that theories make predictions that can be compared to reality and verified through observation. However, the multiverse scientific method relies on positing an infinite array of parallel universes that are, by definition, completely unobservable and untestable. Because of this, accepting the multiverse shifts the very definition of what science is, and it remains highly controversial even among top physicists today.
So, what does this all mean? It leaves us with the ultimate question. Does fine-tuning point to an unobservable multiverse or an intelligent creator? The theories basically frame this as the grand choice facing anyone trying to explain the bizarre reverse causation of our universe. On one hand, an infinite, unobservable array of universes. On the other, an intelligent cause. We have an unbelievable cosmic coincidence, a massive paradigm shift in physics, and two incredibly profound competing solutions. The clues are all right in front of us, but the final verdict of this cosmic detective story? Well, that is entirely up to you. Thanks so much for exploring this fascinating mystery with me.